Today on Comm Talk, we're talking about technical difficulties and highlights of 2021.
Glix, what is going on?
We are receiving a signal from a new area on the planet Geekery.
All right, let's see what the planet has for us today.
Opening comms in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome to Comm Talk, the podcast extension of Geek Devotions, the show from devoted geeks for devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I am Celeste, and with me is...
Dallas.
And this is... I almost said issue. This is episode 121 of Comm Talk.
Heck yes, it is.
So, we are talking about some technical difficulties we've experienced, and then we're going to have a quick commercial break, and we're going to talk about our highlights of 2021.
Yes.
So, Dallas.
Celeste.
What are the technical difficulties that we've had?
Oh, we've had a fun week of technical difficulties. So for those of you who don't know, we use Adobe Audition CS6.
Yes.
Which is like 10 years old, I think.
Yeah. Still work.
Yeah, it works great. But it's what we've been using for the last couple years of Comm Talk and also for Geek Devotions.
Yep.
And was it Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah, Tuesday. I went in to put the final touches on The Bottom Shelf, our other podcast, our sister podcast that we created, and Audition won't open.
No.
And I was frustrated.
Oh, no.
And this is 9:30 at night.
Yeah, it was late.
And
it was after our Tuesday stream.
Mm-hmm. And The Bottom Shelf comes out on Wednesday morning.
Uh-huh.
And I was not going to call John.
No.
And say, John, you're going to do this.
No, because even with the time difference, 9:30 is still kind of late for him.
Oh, yeah. And he's at church at the time.
I thought his church service was on Thursdays.
I don't know. Anyways, so at 9:30 at night, I had to self-teach myself how to use a software called Reaper, which is it's a pro-grade software. And so that's what I did, is I kind of self-taught myself how to use a software called Reaper to do The Bottom Shelf. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was that great of an edit. I did the best I could.
Right.
Trying to figure things out. It runs very different than Audition.
Right.
But it's also it has a different application. Like Reaper's meant for like music production, whereas Audition is more for videographers.
Right.
So you had that happening. Mm-hmm. So I was very confused and mentally exhausted.
Yes, you were.
I went to bed at 1:30 in the morning.
Sounds right.
On Wednesday.
I wasn't awake, but sounds right.
So I was exhausted, bottom line.
Yeah. Now, long story short, Audition still has not opened.
No, there's something weird with it. And I went on TikTok trying to get some help. And we actually had somebody reach out to us very kindly. It's the cats from Nerd Haven.
Yeah.
And they reached out to us. And again, very, very sweet, very, very kind. I really do appreciate them doing this. But they have a legal code. I'm sorry, Nerd Cave, not Nerd Haven. Zach from Nerd Cave reached out to us and offered to let me use their second legal code of Adobe. And I was like, I really, really appreciate that guy, but I just can't.
Yeah.
We try to do things above board as we can. At the same time, we're trying to be in a place where everything that Geek Devotions uses is Geek Devotions.
Yes. So that we don't have, because for those of you who don't know, we test out a lot of equipment for the church.
Yeah.
So sometimes things that we're using are legitimately not ours.
Yeah, exactly. Like when we first started doing the show, the lighting that we used wasn't ours.
No.
It was the church's. The camera wasn't even ours.
No. The Noisy Cricket is not ours.
No, it was the church's. And so because again, I'm a firm believer that the church needs to have excellence. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean it's perfect.
Yeah.
But whatever you have, use it the best you can. And so I tended to bring new equipment home, test new techniques here on Geek Devotions before I did it for the church, because I wanted what the church to put out to be the best I can make it.
Exactly. So not that we don't want Geek Devotions to be the best that we make it, but if Geek Devotions is not on par, we know how to fix that and have the time and ability to work around things.
Right.
And you lovely devoted geeks give us the grace to do that. We also strive to have excellence with Geek Devotions.
Absolutely. We try our best to change and grow. We've actually changed and grown quite a bit with our audio, because what program do we start out using, Dallas? We started off using it was a combination. We used Sound Booth and Audition. Audition or Audacity? Audacity. Thank you. Oh, sorry. We started off with Audacity because it was free, and we only had a singular microphone. Yes. That you and I shared, which was fine. It worked. And then we kind of grew a little bit. We realized you can't do multiple microphones with Audacity. So went to Sound Booth, which was with the old CS5.5 that Adobe had. And then somebody donated to us a legal copy of CS6. Yep. And so we were using that's what I use right now for a lot of our stuff. And we have not necessarily upgraded our sound software, our DAW, since we upgraded to CS6. Right. Because CS6 has been great. It's been adequate. It's not perfect, but it's been adequate. Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, if we had the extra $500 a year, I would go ahead and get the master collection of Adobe. Right. So that I could, because the ecosystem is just great. Like, I love using DaVinci Resolve. That's the crazy thing is we had to get out of using Premiere. Probably 4 months ago. I'm going to say closer to 5 or 6. Yeah. And I had to learn DaVinci Resolve, which again, great software. Now I'm having to do this one. So, and we had already been looking to potentially switch. Yeah, we had already been looking at possibly doing this. Now, when we looked at going to Reaper, it was because I had another issue that we discovered was just it was a driver issue that just can't be resolved. Gotcha. But Reaper is just it's a newer software. As opposed to our 10-year-old Adobe. Yeah, exactly. So, and now we are using the free version of Reaper until we can get acquainted with it. Right. It's a evaluation. Yeah. What they're calling it. So, but we thank you to our patrons. We will be able to, if we decide we like it and don't find anything else we want to use, that we'll be able to buy it outright. Yeah. Like, it's a super cost-effective program, but it is super good quality program. Yeah, absolutely. From everything we've been hearing. Right. And this is something that, sound is important. Yeah. You can get away with having terrible graphics and video if you have good sound. Yeah. And so we've really worked hard over the last several years to upgrade our sound. If you go back and listen to the first episodes of Geek Devotions. Oh, it's painful. So terrible. So terrible. And even right now, like, we're kind of bouncing back and forth between two different kind of microphone setups for the show. And there's one that is superior, but it takes more work to get set up. Yes. And it hurts me even now to hear the ones that's just a little less superior. But even though it's so much better than what we used to do. So, yeah. But yeah, thank you to our patrons. Never think that we do not appreciate you. Yeah. Do not love you. Do not pray for you daily. Exactly. Because thanks to you guys, we're able to do what we do. I mean, create this podcast, create the bottom shelf. We have another podcast that's in the works right now. Yes. Do Geek Devotions, do other things. Thanks to you guys, I was able to do some voiceover work for another ministry and do some other stuff like that. I'm able to do playing games with strangers. Right, which is a whole other thing. We have the equipment. Right. And so, thanks to you guys, we're blessing people in a variety of ways using the stuff that you devoted Patreon geeks help us to obtain this equipment. We were able to bless one of our team members with a what do you call the Focusrite? Yeah, interface. An interface. That's the word I was looking for. Bless one of our team members with an interface so that he doesn't have to come to our house to record a podcast. He can do it from his own house. Exactly. So, but if we did not have the lovely patrons, we did not have the money that they so lovingly and kindly give to us, we wouldn't have been able to upgrade to buy what we needed to buy to be able to bless him with that. Yep. So that's what's happening. So sound like, I don't know what this is going to sound like with the podcast. Like, as we're recording it now, I don't know what it's going to sound like tomorrow when I edit this. We will see. Hopefully it's good quality. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Love your feedback on it. So, but we're learning and we're growing. Yay! Kevin, one of our other team members, the Dapper Man himself, he sent me a great quote. We're gonna end this section with this quote because it's a great quote that Kevin gave us. Let me pull up his message. Yeah, here he goes. He goes, I hope everything works out and possibly smoother. I know it sucks. Something I heard from a John Gordon podcast earlier. This may be a setback, but I'm getting prepared for the comeback. And that's a great line. And I really appreciate Kevin just being encouraging, because I was really in a bad place. Because even though I didn't do anything wrong, when I can't do what I need to do, especially when it's for other people, I feel like trash. I feel like I failed and let people down. Even though it wasn't your fault. I know. It's not like you went in and broke the program. Right. But now I feel bad because we're putting out stuff that's not as quality as it could be. And it's because I'm having to learn. So I'm going to do my best to learn the software. Gosh, learn faster, Dallas. I'm trying. So I'm recruiting the help of a couple great individuals who know the software already. So hopefully this podcast doesn't suck for you guys. If it does, we're working on it. True story. So, okay, well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and in that, we're going to support somebody that we love. And then we're going to talk about highlights of 2021. Yeah.
Crikey, looky there! It's a rare taco-phibian. You rarely see such a... Whoa! Did you see that? A cracking glitz kaiju just chowed down that taco.
What does that even mean?
It means that when you're done listening to Comm Talk, check out the Retro Rewind podcast.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and we're back. Woohoo! Hope you guys... I want to remind you guys to go check out those individuals, especially if the commercial's actually there and I didn't screw this up. It may just be dead silence and you're checking your headphones going, are they still there? What's happening? Did it pause? What happened? We'll find out. Anyways, real quick, want to wrap this up by just talking about a couple highlights. Let's celebrate what did God do this past year in 2021 in Geek Devotions and through us, and some highlights that we had. I feel like we kind of did this a little bit at the end of the year, but Celeste, what's a highlight for you? I have two that come to mind immediately for Geek Devotions, and one is the booth at GeekCon. Yes, that's on my list. Was phenomenal. I figured it would be. We were able to love on people. We were able to be there for them, and not just we're walking around, we're part of this with you, but actually part of the con as a whole. We were able to minister more to the vendors than we've ever been able to. Absolutely. It was a step of faith for us. It was. We have goals on our Patreon, and we're not at the, hey, we're going to start going to cons goal yet. No, we're not. And we've had people who go, are you going to be at this con? No, we're not. We want to, but right. I mean, we're not going to go what we can't do. Right. So, but we basically drained the Geek Devotions account. We did. And added some of our personal money to do GeekCon. Yeah. But it was so worth it. It was. It was so worth it. I wouldn't ask for a penny of it back. It was so good. Being able to be on the floor and minister to people right there. We had parents come up to us. Yeah. We had other people. I used to volunteer at a school, and I had one of the students from that school recognize me, come up to me, and I worked at her. I was like, I know you. I remember you. And she lit her world up. That you remembered her? I remembered her, had a great conversation with her and her mom. It was a great time. We had that missionary couple that we ran into. Yeah, which I don't think we've heard from them since then. We probably should check on them. Check on them. Hey, are y'all still okay? So, but it was so good. And that is a shadow of what I feel like Geek Devotions is going to be doing. Yeah. We want to travel and do ministry, and that was a great starting ground. And then having like Kevin drive all the way from drive. He flew. Yeah, he flew. He flew all the way from Florida to be with us for GeekCon and help. Man. And then Branson. I'm so thankful for him and Branson because we did not necessarily think about the fact of we were going to want to move and walk around together.
So especially because like Celeste doesn't do great in big crowds by herself.
Right.
So unless I'm cosplayed as something very popular, I get run over.
Yeah.
So it was nice to be like, hey guys, you got this. You're part of the team. You minister.
Yeah.
We're going to go
And
breathe.
decompress a little bit. Oh man. So true. So true.
What about you? What's one for you?
Man, that was a big one right there.
Yeah, I think that was the big one for both of us.
I think having a couple of our out-of-state team members be here, that was a bonus for me.
Yeah.
John and Kevin both.
Yeah, John came this year. That's a personal highlight for me because John and I are buddies.
Yeah. Yeah, but having him here and just doing life with him and Kevin when he was here and just encouraging them and laughing with them face to face.
Yeah.
You know, not just it wasn't just the, hey, what we got out of them because we did ministry with them, but it's just that they're our friends. Getting to laugh with them and talk about life, play video games or joke around.
Right. For those.
One of my favorite parts was when Kevin was at our house and he was so frustrated playing Cuphead.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You had gone to bed. He was so frustrated trying to play Cuphead.
Lord, I get frustrated playing Cuphead. So, now for those of you who don't know, when John came down in October, we did a Devoted Geek together. Probably the first one we've done in a while.
Yeah, it was. Since the con.
So they both got to do a Devoted Geek together.
They did.
That's cool. So, another highlight for me, and this one is not as big, but it was still a lot of fun, was book log golf.
Yeah.
We did a book log golf in our Discord where everybody was reading through their backlog of books. And it was a lot of fun. I might have gotten more suggestions for things that I want to read than I probably needed, than probably was what you're supposed to happen.
Right.
But our friends have very varying tastes. And when I say friends, I mean the Devoted Geeks. You are my friends. But like the varying tastes, varying different things, seeing what Adam in Australia is reading, seeing what Drew in Texas is reading.
Right.
Squid in the Great Tundra North.
The Great Tundra North.
She's covered in snow right now, so I don't.
That's so funny.
So it was really good. It was really fun. And I think it was good for our community as a whole, which is the benefit for me. Like I had fun being a part of it, but our community as a whole has grown and it's built friendships because, you know, we had rivalries going on and AC is ridiculous and love you, AC. But dude, so many comics racking them points up.
He was. So
I'm just, fighting to stay with you. I feel like I deserved a pizza after that.
You did.
I think we got pizza.
Pizza Hut, where are you at?
Right.
Pizza Hut needs a sponsor the next. That's what we needed to do. Is the next.
Yeah, it's the next one. The winner wins a pizza.
Win a personal pan pizza. We're going to do that next time.
We'll call into wherever they are, have them delivered.
Oh, that'd be great. So, my final highlight is actually 2. And that was helping out to support other ministries.
Yes, we did that a couple different times.
We did it for Victims and Villains.
Yeah.
And we took part of their stream. And then we also did it for Track.
Yes.
And both of those, helping to raise funds for them and support them, were highlights for me.
Yeah.
I really love being able to do that.
The Track one, because it was so above and beyond. I love helping Josh with Victims and Villains. Like, I love that ministry. I love what they do. I support it. I can't listen to the podcast a lot of times because I don't do scary stuff, but I'm behind what they do.
Yeah.
So I love being able to support them. But the Track stuff, man, that was just such an intense.
That was intense.
Few days, and then to just see our community come together.
Oh yeah.
And astound. I mean, it was like noon, and we'd met our original goal.
Yeah. Like we weren't halfway through, and our original goal was blown out of the water.
Like, so we just were like, okay, well, I mean, we're gonna keep going and see how much we can get.
And again, I want to put this out there, patrons. We had the ability to do these fundraisers because of you.
Yes.
you guys helped us to get sound equipment. We did the big push last year to get this computer.
Yeah, we would not have been able to do a 48. What did we do? 48 or 42? 40?
Something like that. I don't know.
It was 40. We only did 40 because any later than that would have been ridiculously late for us.
So, but thank you guys. Thank you. Because again, that's really our community coming up, helping us out. And that's what I love is seeing the activation in our community to serve other people and to help people. You guys really do a great job of expressing the heart of Geek Devotions, which is being devoted to letting people know that they are loved.
Yeah.
So when you guys help us with track, when you guys helped us with victims and villains, you guys are doing what we're trying to put out. The mission, letting people know, no matter what's happening, no matter where they're at, no matter their background or history, that they're cared for. And this carries over even to the bottom shelf.
Yeah, it does.
The bottom shelf, our other podcast. That's another highlight for me. Starting the bottom shelf. I've enjoyed doing this with the guys.
It sounds like you've had fun with it.
Yeah. So I did almost buy a movie today for the bottom shelf.
What movie?
Venom.
Oh.
It's next one. It's the next one we have to review. And it was both Venom and Venom 2.
Why didn't you get it?
Because I wanted to talk to you about the financial side of it first.
Oh.
It was a combo set.
Gotcha.
So
well, we may be going back to the store later.
Anyways, but starting that up, but even with that, like we're every week we tell people that they're loved, or every 2 weeks. It's a every 2 weeks thing.
Yeah.
But that's been a highlight. All the podcasts have been a highlight for me. I mean, having Branson do his reviews has been amazing. Having John and Steve do Primitive Rhythm Machine has been amazing.
The conversation, Steve wasn't able to be there. Blech. Steve was not able to be there, but the conversation with the guy from Rottweiler Records.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
That was fantastic. He was saying things that we say, and he has no idea who Geek Devotions is.
I don't think he still does, honestly.
Probably not, but that's okay because he was willing to be interviewed by John, and so he's saying things. I'm like, man, he's speaking our language.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So it was so good. And so my biggest highlight is just everyone involved.
Yeah. We didn't have the team last year, did we? Not to this extent.
Not to this extent. Our writers,
we just started Primitive Rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Like having our writers, Michael, Branson, and now Kevin and John. I mean, basically everyone who's involved, they're writing for us in some fashion. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Michael's pumping out these fantastic, encouraging articles for us every single month.
Yeah, knocking it out of the
He's
park.
doing great stuff. And then he's just submitted an article for Christianity Today also.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. We have John doing stuff about music and a variety of other things all the time. Steven is with him with the Primitive Rhythm Machine. Steven.
No, Steve.
Branson with his Bees, Views, and Reviews. But not just that. Branson also helps me out with other aspects here and there. And then
that's a real quick interjection. That is also another highlight. It might be more of a personal highlight, but bringing Branson and John together in the same room was...
That was amazing, apparently. I hate that I missed most of that night.
It was hysterical. So I feel like that when Steve and Branson get together in the same room, that there's just going to be a black hole of dad jokes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, but I mean, all the entire team, Kevin, I mean, he's doing these fantastic reviews of movies I've not heard of. And he did a great review of a movie I actually want to see. It's about an Irish film. And it was a really great review. I'm like, this sounds like a really cool movie. And I mean, he just brings a really great perspective to things, and like the entire team, and then beyond the team that serves our community. Yeah, the people that are in the chat during our streams, or when we're on Facebook, people who interact in Devoted Geek Life, or on in the Discord channel. I mean, you guys are my highlight. Like I legitimately love doing what we do because of you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely come a long way from when we were just a YouTube show, and like we would freak out when we got a comment.
Yeah, like, oh my god, somebody commented.
Oh my gosh, somebody watched it and they said something. Now we're like, it's another comment.
No, I'm not I'm still excited. Now there's some comments like, oh, we're gonna delete that.
Anytime someone comments on the Tony Satchery's Old Bay one, I'm like, ugh, why?
The best thing to come out of the Tony Satchery's is Michael. That's the best thing that came out of that episode.
So,
oh my gosh, it's crazy.
No, I didn't mean that how I sounded. I was thinking about the Old Bay video when I was saying that. No, we read every comment, we pray over every comment, but sometimes when it's on that one, you're sitting here going, really?
But then there are other ones where you're like, man, this person's asking for prayer.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. And so we appreciate you guys. We genuinely appreciate everyone. You're right. We've come so far.
So far.
Like from that terrible sounding first episode to our terrible sounding first podcast, which was a lapel mic attached to a cell phone and the lapel mic attached to a dinosaur.
That wasn't even actually the
boom dinosaur.
First one.
Yeah.
The first one we did in the car, and we were passing it back and forth, and we lost that audio.
Was that the first one? I thought the first one was the
comic book one. We did it on the way home from Excalibur,
and we had to redo it.
We had to redo it.
That's right.
So we
I forgot that the pilot got lost.
So we attached it to the dinosaur.
Yep. The fact that because I can't talk, we now have a character named Glix.
Yes. The fact that we have such a good friendship with Francisco. Yeah. Because he was correcting our grammar.
Yes, I love it. Flipping Francisco, the ice skater or the figure skater.
His blades of glory.
Blades of glory.
To understand that joke, you should hang out at Retro Rewind Pod's streams.
Having friendship with Drew and Jacob from the Cellcast, having Drew on our show. I
have a goal to get to meet them because they are close enough that we should be able to do that this year.
They are so fun. Drew and Jacob are such great guys, and I love talking with them. I love being in their stream. It's their streams are kind of different because they're recording a podcast.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of interaction, but when you can interact with them, they're hysterical to talk to.
Oh yeah.
I love being on the show and talking with them.
I just need them to get a different we're editing this sound because it makes me want to throw the phone
when
every
you get
time.
the little clicker for them.
Yes.
And so doing stuff with JS.
Oh my gosh, JS is
and
awesome.
The rest of the Playing Games with Strangers crew. Dave, I feel bad for Dave because I feel like the only time I talk to Dave is when I'm complaining about our podcast not being on Google. But I love Dave so much.
Dave is awesome.
He is such a cool guy.
He is so funny.
He's hysterical.
Like, so funny.
So, but the entire Playing Games with Strangers cast, I love all of them.
Me too.
I'm so glad that you allow me to have be friends with your friends.
Well, I'm glad that you are friends with my friends because it makes my life easier when I'm constantly talking about these people.
Like Squid is hysterical.
Oh yeah, she is.
And just the entire crew. I need to meet Eric. I haven't actually met Eric.
Eric is fun. No, you haven't, have you?
No. I talked to him briefly when he was helping out with the 40-hour stream.
Yeah.
That's it.
Eric is funny.
Yeah. I appreciate Eric for the dice.
Yes, Eric does good with the dice. Sage's Portal, everybody. So, but yeah.
If you'd like to sponsor.
Eric. No, Eric is fun.
Yeah.
Eric is, he's our dry sense of humor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, gosh, there's just so many guests we've had this past year and so many great friendships we've made with people.
Yeah.
And all the events, all the stuff, it boils down to the people.
Yeah.
And I am so thankful to have the opportunity to do stuff with you guys.
It's funny. Last night we were at an event where we were praying over the city, and the leader of the event got up on the mic and was talking about how all the statistics of our city, behind them there is a person.
Yeah.
There's a story. It's a person. And for us at Geek Devotions, we never forget that behind that username, behind that message that's been typed, behind that joke is a person. Yeah. And that person's loved. And we are honored to be able to love you.
Yeah.
And we are honored that you let us in your life. And we're honored and love that you respond to us. Like, you could just take in this content and ignore us. And I'm sure that there are some who do.
Right.
but the community as a whole participates. Like, we have people who interact with us. I regularly talk to Caston about Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I need to send something out to Steffi because Steffi got Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Steffi.
But
love Steffi.
we're going to be doing something with Steffi soon.
Yep.
We need to schedule that.
And AC. Yep.
So, but yeah, it's behind everything we're talking about, behind every event, behind every username, every keystroke, we understand that there's a person there. And that is our highlight.
Yep. So, well, guys, we can ramble on and on, but we love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for being part of our lives and for allowing us to be part of yours through Geek Devotions, through Comm Talk, through the Bottom Shelf, through all the other avenues. Thank you. We love each and every one of you. So, any final thoughts?
I think we're good.
Land the plane, babe.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Comm Talk today. If you have loved this episode, head on over to Apple Podcasts to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It is very much appreciated. So until next time, stay devoted.
Peace and love.